As some of you know, Cindy and I just installed a used Rubicon sway bar disconnect on Pippi with an EVO No Limits knob, and we've been super eager to test it out ever since. Being that she is still bone stock and really low to the ground, I will have to get a little dirty to disconnect. But as you just saw, that took all of about 30 seconds to do. Because we will be playing on some rocks today and could potentially get into some trouble, Pippi made sure to bring her big brother Moby along just in case. And speaking of Moby, I think it's worth pointing out that he's been running the exact same disconnect setup as Pippi, and for well over 10 years. Of course, on a Jeep this big, getting it disconnected is a heck of a lot easier. Okay, I think we're about ready to hit the trail, but first, I'm gonna throw a hitch stinger on the back of Pippi. As you may or may not have seen on some of our trail videos, the spare tire is vulnerable to catching on big rocks and ledges, and that can cause damage to your tailgate or even blow out a hardtop rear window. While it isn't as much of a problem with a stock Jeep carrying such a small spare tire, it is something that we have seen a lot over the years, and better to be safe than sorry. All right, you ready for this?
Ready.
I really need to get a CB bar installed in Pippi. You know, I think I'm gonna need 4 low for this. Man, I sure do love places like this. It's hard to believe, but well before the United States was even a country, Spaniards were all up and through this mountain range digging for gold in what would be one of the very first major gold strikes in Nevada. Of course, there were plenty of other riches that they were digging out of the ground, including silver, lead, and even copper, some of which you could still see the evidence of in the bluish green streaks in the canyon walls. This whole area was actively mined until about 1945, and the structures that you see here are from that time period. All right, I think it's time to take on some more obstacles. I hope I can do it. Third time's a charm. That took some real work. That was fun. tougher line than I was expecting to do, but I'm really impressed. Minus the stalls, Pippi is awesome. This is the final obstacle. Pretty big waterfall, but what's more impressive about it is how steep the face is. The breakover angles on this, pretty severe. Might even give Moby a challenge. And the bypass, well, this looks pretty tough too. Loose gravel all down here. It's gonna be tough to get any grip. Steep breakover angles as well, at least for Pippi anyway. It's gonna be a challenge. So let's do this. Walked right up it. Guess it's my turn. Well, that took a little bit of effort, but Pippi did it. Pretty awesome stuff. And just like that, disconnecting Pippi and reconnecting it is that much easier. As far as why this and not some other aftermarket option goes, well, I've always been a fan of the factory Rubicon sway bar disconnect. When it's connected, it's solid and stable, just like stock. And when it's disconnected, it offers resistance-free axle articulation. There's nothing to remove, nothing to strap up, nothing to store. And as you just saw, even if the motor doesn't work anymore, you can still get it to work with relative ease. Of course, being that this is for Pippi, keeping her stock or as stockish as possible has always been our objective. And that any mods that we did do would be done with budget in mind. And this, a used factory Rubicon sway bar disconnect, I think satisfies that and more.